What is going on, guys? Today we are reacting to I am sick of being blamed for failed games. I think this has something to do with the high guard dev talking about how it was other people's faults, like the streamers talking shit about the game. That's what I think this is going to be about. If I had to take an educated guess, of course. But I do hope you do enjoy today's video. I do stream over at twitch.tv/TrueEarl and on this main YouTube channel as well. So if you guys want to come hang out, I'd love to see you guys there. And with that being said, let's get right into the video.
High guard developers, as well as some in games media, have taken to crashing out, blaming the players for the game's failure instead of just confronting reality. I am so sick and tired of players being blamed for failed games. This weird expectation that the customer needs to be there to catch these developers when they fall, that they need to donate their empathy to those who do not understand the customer.
Kind of feel, yeah, they're trying to make you feel bad for it's failing, you know, trying to maybe get that sympathy pull in, maybe? I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Why you would even say something like this?
Needs do not seem to care and then want to stand around and act surprised when everybody's upset. This is not a charity.
Nope, it's a business.
Time for their money and for their patience. If you guys just wanted their well wishes, you wouldn't be putting a price tag on it. This is something that the industry at large,
it was a free-to-play game,
doesn't seem to understand. They don't get why players are so upset, why they're so loud, why they won't trust anyone. Instead, what they want to do is they want to call you entitled, say that you're algorithm poisoned, that you're addicted to outrage, without taking the time to realize they are the ones that created this monster.
Oh, she's passion.
One thing right. Players do want to see games fail, but that's not because they're evil or entitled.
It's because they're just straight up trash. Some of them are, I want to see fail. I'm not going to lie. I mean, at this point, I feel like some companies, like, or some brand, not brands, like some series gotta fail and just die out. In my opinion, I think that's got to be Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty for the most part, like both those two ones. Yes, I'm a big Call of Duty fan. I watch Call of Duty Pro Play. I like every weekend, like I enjoy watching them. But I think the game as itself, it's kind of cheeks. I played the beta for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. It was ass. It wasn't good. It like just was the same thing, except now I can bounce on walls again. It's literally back. It's like what, Black Ops 3? Assassin's Creed, honestly, once they went the RPG route and like we're at the level base and I couldn't really just like do what I want. And like the story wasn't really that intriguing. I didn't really care for it. I still stopped playing it. I don't think it was that good. And that's how I feel about most games now.
It's because they're sick of not being listened to. So when words fail them, they realize the only language left was consequences.
Was womp womp.
The video game industry suffers from a severe lack of accountability and self-awareness, to the point that now it's honestly just getting hard to comprehend. The same lessons get taught over and over, and nothing ever gets learned because the people that are making those mistakes refuse to believe that it is them. And we see this every single time a game fails. There's always an excuse that's
always somebody else
reflecting around the obvious. The market's tough. We didn't time our release right. The genre's oversaturated. And now their new favorite, it's the players, it's content creators, it's the
well, how is it like the oversaturated? So like before you even released the game, before you even thought of the concept of the game, you didn't even think about, oh, maybe it's a saturated market. Maybe we should see what our competitors are doing, and maybe we shouldn't enter them because there's so many heavy hitters in it. But no, it's their fault, and now it's our fault for gaming culture? Like, what? Are you stupid?
Apparently, we manifested their failure into existence and unfairly got what we asked for. We've watched this same cycle for the past few years. A game gets announced and it genuinely breaks your brain trying to figure out how that game got greenlit.
Yep.
Developers in condition so sheltered that the second that game touches sunlight, it just evaporates. The character designs, the themes, the gameplay, the genre. Players look at it and they feel two things at the same time. Offended that the industry thinks this is worth their money, and frustrated that this industry refuses to save itself. So then what happens? Well, the trailer gets downvoted into oblivion. Social media lights up.
Yeah, it didn't even stand a chance. It was kind of like Call of Duty. Was it IW? That it didn't have like the most dislikes ever created on YouTube, or was like maybe the most downvoted like ever. Like it was something insane. And it was doing it justice because nobody wanted jetpacks anymore. And then they learned, oh well, we're not going to do jetpacks for no one, and they didn't. And look, they did it a little bit better. But it's still Call of Duty. It's still trash. It's honestly the same thing over and over again. And they just released it, and then you have High Guard who just released a shit game.
People say very clearly and directly, this is not what we want. The industry ignores it, calls it noise, pretends that it's the fringe, and then while the game launches, nobody shows up, and somehow yet again, well, it can't possibly be them. No.
People showed up.
It has to be the players.
No, I will disagree on that part. People did show up, almost like 97,000. I think it was about the number. Except nobody fucking stayed. They're at 2,000 players or something. Maybe dropping by the days, by the hour, by the minute. People showed up. They just couldn't even keep 5% of their player base. And that's somehow our fault.
In 2026, that game was high guard. Everybody knew it was going to fail. Everybody said that it would. Hell, I made a video the day after its announcement saying exactly that. It looked half-baked. It looked like it needed more time. It needed to go into beta. That feedback was
It just looked
everywhere.
boring.
The entire internet was criticizing it. Then the game released and it failed. Oh my gosh, what a surprise. Now we have the developers placing the blame at the feet of the players and content creators while assuming none of it themselves. Josh Sobel, one of the technical artists on Highguard, took to Twitter to write a lengthy reflection about how gaming culture destroyed the game. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but you do need to see just how out of touch this mindset is, because every time they say this stuff, it just proves the players right. Josh opens with, the day leading up to the Game Awards 2025 was amongst the most exciting of my life. After 2.5 years of passionately working on Highguard, we were ready to reveal it to the world. The future seemed bright. Everyone I knew who had a connection to the team or the project had shared the same sentiments. It's lightning in a bottle. I trust this team wholeheartedly. If there's one project nobody in the industry is worried will fail, it's yours. This has mainstream hit written.
You gotta be
all over
worried.
it. There's no way this will flop. I could play this all day. Now, either you are surrounded by professionally trained bioengineered gaslighters or you made this the hell up. There's no way. This is way too on the nose. It's almost stereotypical.
They definitely got gaslighted, because was it Jeff? He wanted this game to be, he wanted to be on the last slot, so there must be gaslighters. I don't know.
Typical. Who would actually go out and say there's no way this game will flop? If there's one project nobody in the industry is worried will fail, it's yours. Jeff,
that's insane. Jeff, you bastard.
You said this to them. Your game was sheltered.
See,
I assumed as much, and I said as much in my review after the game had launched. Hell, I even think I said it in my intro. The more that I played it, the more I watched on as people with zero stake in the outcome cheered it on that probably weren't even playing it themselves. The more obvious it became to me and also to everybody else that this game was a casualty of toxic positivity, no different than Concord, because otherwise it would have never made it to market.
Yeah, funny enough, I didn't even hear about Concord until after it got shut down, like 2 weeks. I think I see one of the streamers I like watching play it, and for sponsorships, and I even watch him play it. I watched him do it on Instagram. That's how much of a failure it was. Bro, I couldn't even bother watching his stream. I watched his fucking Instagram video. Like, come on. Why are you paying all this money just for your games to fail? I can see why you're going bankrupt now.
Rocks in a first-person shooter.
In-game,
massive
of course.
maps with 3v3 and 5v5, even when you bumped it up later. A shooter where players barely engage unless they're standing on an objective. A game that makes you feel like you're only fighting other players. What, maybe 25% of the time? No progression, no leaderboards, no scoreboard. A hero shooter where the heroes make isekai protagonists look original. And nobody noticed that. You're trying to tell me nobody said anything. Nobody at a single point said, hey, you know what? Something might be wrong here. This is the stuff that drives players up the wall because it is so self-inflicted. These are not subtle problems. A Candy Crush gamer could call this stuff out. So either you didn't listen, didn't want to hear it, or no one around you was willing to say it. You were surrounded by people that were being supportive for the sake of being supportive. People
just being
that
your friend.
more about your feelings than they did about your results. And at the end of the day, the product that you made is what happens when you get a shooter that is built inside of a padded room, insular, coddled, and completely disconnected from what players have been asking for and what they have made blatantly obvious over years of public failures. And it's no wonder that you were surprised when your game finally touched reality.
I'm kind of confused because after all these failures, you should, isn't that what history is? You learn from the mistakes of others and you don't repeat it in the future again. But somehow they don't understand what shooters want, what makes shooters fail, and like what they got to do to make it better. Because like, I mean, even there are some outliers of why I don't really understand why ones fail. Because I think there was like that Call of Duty kill that came out a couple of like last year or something like that, and that one failed. I never played it. I mean, I guess the Call of Duty fan base is just so big. But I mean, you got to really do something innovative to get people to stick to a new game like this.
Josh continues with his experience saying, but then the trailer came out and it was all downhill from there. Content creators love to point out the bias in folks who give positive previews after being flown out for an event, but ignore the fact that when their negative leaning content gets 10 times the engagement of the positive, they've got just as much incentive to lean into a disingenuous direction, whether consciously or not. Now,
what? Bro, are you dumb? If it looks like ass, I'm going to say it looks like ass. What the hell? I'm not like, I don't know if content creators are getting paid to go out, what you're gonna say they'll be honest online? No, they're getting paid. They're gonna get paid. You're paying them to say it looks good. Or maybe I seen one maybe that went out said, oh yeah, this could be a changing, but other than that, the game's great. Even then, there's still positivity, but somebody sees a trailer online, they literally have they have a review of the game in front of them, they're gonna give out their honest opinions from eyesight. You can't be mad at that. How is it our fault if you're releasing a trailer to get our impressions? How is it my impression if it looks like ass wrong? It's an opinion.
Save for time, I'm going
And it's not even an opinion anymore because it's a majority. It's just ass. Everybody agrees with it.
to summarize a bit. He goes on to say that he got personally targeted too. He went private on Twitter to protect his sanity, and content creators saw that and turned it into a storyline, calling him a coward and sending angry waves of people into his replies. He
hold on, McDonald's applications. Is that Asmongold? I think that's Asmongold, ain't it? But the fries in the bag.
said people laughed at him for being proud of the game, told him to go fill out a McDonald's application, and even mocked him for listing autism in his bio. I still don't understand why people do that.
Yeah, why do you do that?
I'm just going to stop it right
there. Is it a flex?
Now, this guy is referencing me directly, so I have to respond to this. I am the one that pointed out how preview events are terrible for feedback, that they almost lead to nothing but glowing coverage. I've been to plenty of them. I know how it works. It's not even the point of it being a paid trip part. I think that's the laziest part of this conversation. I'm talking about the event itself. The drinks, the food, the social energy, seeing people that you know, seeing people that you don't. You're not
It's just like a party. Yeah.
Judging these games like a customer would. You're basically at a party and the game is just background music. And even if you do have criticism, there is real social pressure there. You are now face to face with these developers. You are surrounded. You are not trying to be the guy who is killing the vibe. That is poison to honesty. That's not bribery. It's just human behavior. But you want to go and flip this into content creators did this to us, that me and others disingenuously attacked your game because negativity gives us 10 times the engagement.
Yeah, and also with the saying it's content creators' fault, do you really think people don't have a mind of their own? You honestly think that out of 9,000, what was it? Almost, let's round up to 100,000. I'll give them that. Let's give them 100,000 people. You think all of them listen to a streamer? Every single one of them are listening to streamers and what their opinion are? No, they're literally playing the game. They're experiencing the game. They were not enjoying it. They were not, or even if they enjoyed it a little bit, it wasn't enough for make them a stick. They're going to go back to what they enjoy, what they used to enjoy at least, or what their friend group enjoys. So even then, like if you couldn't keep even 10%, 15%, it's not our fault that your game was bad. It's just that it was bad. I'm sorry.
I have no idea what you are talking about. And honestly, it explains a lot. It explains why your game failed, why so many other games are failing, why games media is struggling, because you people do not understand other people.
Yeah.
You do not understand basic social behavior. And also, for the record, 6 out of the top 12 videos on this channel are positive. I am not some rage merchant that can only function off of hate. Yes, I do critical content. That is the theme of the channel. I compare, contrast, and I react to what's being said around a lot of these games. But my opinions do not create public opinion.
Nope.
They are a lightning rod, a loudspeaker for people who already feel something. Content creators cannot make people love a bad game.
See, he says it exactly.
A good one. The people who grow in this space are the ones who naturally resonate with others, not the ones that are trying to force a narrative. Being a contrarian does not work for you. People just want a fresh perspective, true, but at the same time, they are trying to seek out what they are already interested in. Go type in "I hate Dark Souls" into YouTube, and you're going to find a bunch of videos that are just not dominating the conversation. The algorithm is still going to shove you into positive Dark Souls videos because that's what people actually want. Except for Dark Souls 2, but that was actually a bad game, and that totally
was it? I never played it.
Routinely dogged on. But that's how the internet works. That's how people work. If you genuinely believe that content creators can just decide to tank your game for engagement, then you fundamentally misunderstand how attention works. And if you don't understand how attention works, well, then you probably don't understand how interest works. And if you don't understand how interest works, well, you're going to have a really hard time making something that people are actually interested in. The algorithm does not manufacture desire. All it does is amplify it. If negative videos about your game were getting 10 times the engagement, that's not because us creators flipped the switch. It's because that friction was already there. Skepticism was already there. People already had something that they didn't like about it, and the algorithm just poured gasoline on it. I really hope game developers are watching this. This is probably the most important and the most valuable bit of insight that I could give you. If you think that content creators cause the reaction, you are missing the most important step. You should be asking, why did the reaction resonate? You should be asking, why aren't people excited? Why are the comments negative? If your first instinct is to blame the amplification instead of the signal, well, all you're doing is just blaming a thermometer for a fever.
Yeah, I mean, he's right, but I mean, he's also pretty hopeful that they're even like they could be listening, but they might not be processing. Because I mean, how many times have we told, like, gaming the community told people what we want and we haven't got it. So like, there's not a lot of hope anymore, especially in AAA. I think the lower, like I don't know what you call them, like indie games. I think they actually do listen to what people want, and then when they produce something that we actually enjoy, they like work on it too. And they also take ideas from the community and then add it to their game on top of it, and then they get us coming together even more to play it even more. Like, I think that's what they want. That's what indie games do so much better than AAA, because AAA just have to they have to hit a quota that, oh, we gotta make this certain money back. I think that's the biggest problem with Activision in itself with the Call of Duty franchise, in my opinion.
You are so sheltered that you are instinctively deflecting any type of accountability before it even shows up at your door. Content creation success is about resonance. Video game success is about resonance. You cannot strong arm people into liking something. You cannot strong arm people into hating something. You cannot guilt people into anything. You cannot shame people into showing up. That doesn't work in any industry. So when I see a game developer that comes out that says that they believe that content creators are the ones that drove failure because negativity performs
One
better,
person,
what that tells me is somebody
they think an individual can really change so much of a thing, and not even like a problematic way. Your game is not a problem, like, to real life society. It's not like, something like where we need to go protest for. It's just a game, and you think that one guy's gonna influence so many, like 100,000 people, or let's say there's 10 people who dogged on the game. You're gonna say that affected 100 people, like 100,000 people? Yeah, you're delusional.
believes that attention is something that you can control. And if that's the case, it makes a lot of sense why you made a game that you thought people should like rather than a game that they actually did.
They do like. Yep.
This industry needs to start asking, why are players so upset? Where are these reactions coming from? Why are they resonating so hard? Why don't they trust us?
We're not even upset.
Why does it seem like they hate us?
We can't be mad.
Actually get from our failure?
It just dog.
And if they ask those questions, all they would have to do is look in the mirror. Now, I originally wasn't going to comment on any of this developer's posts outside of my live stream because I felt like I had already said what I needed to say in my review. But this last point in his response made me realize just how big this problem actually is and how the industry needs a very clear answer. Josh went on to place the blame at the feet of players, pointing out meme phrases like Concord 2 and Titanfall 3 died for this. He also claimed that the game got hammered at launch with 14K review bombs from users with less than an hour of playtime, saying that most of them didn't even finish the tutorial. And then he says this.
So you're saying they couldn't get past a tutorial? Why couldn't they get past a tutorial? Why is there a tutorial on a shooter, actually? You think I don't know how to click, point, and shoot, and I can't figure out a mechanic of farming? I play League of Legends. Most people play League of Legends. League of Legends is 1 million people plus every day. I think we can understand how a game works. You say farm, money, spend, buy. Like, I don't need to go through the process of spending 30 minutes to even do that, because I swear that's how long the tutorial takes.
In the discussions about Highguard, Concord, 2XKO, and such, it is often pointed out by gamers that developers like to blame gamers for their failures. And that's silly, right? As if gamers have no power, but they do, a lot of it. I'm not saying our failure is purely the fault of gamer culture and that the game would have thrived without negative discourse, but it absolutely played a role. All products are the whim of consumers, and the consumers put an absurd amount of effort into slandering Highguard, and it worked. Look, man, I don't want to repeat myself, but this game was not review bombed, and I'm so sick of seeing developers try to hide behind this excuse. Yes, there were troll reviews, like there always are, but a ton of the sub 1 hour reviews were mostly people that were talking about crashing, performance issues, and actual gameplay problems. A Highguard match is 8 to 30 minutes. That is plenty of time for you to know if you are having fun. People didn't like the game, they stopped playing it, end of story. You do not get to under 2,000 concurrent players and layoffs because of review bombing. You get there because you have a poorly managed studio that didn't take in any feedback, and you made a game that people did not want to play. And for all the comments on the players, this industry needs to stop blaming the culture that they created. I'm going to say that again as clearly as possible, because for whatever reason, people in this industry still want to act confused as to why players are so savage. You created this, not us. Stop blaming us for your mistakes. Start making better games or find another fucking job. It is not.
I don't even think do we have a culture? Does gaming even have a culture? I think we're just basically like anybody else. We're just people who will buy a product if we enjoy it, if we find use in it, if we like playing it. I don't see how that's a culture thing. It's like buying fucking, I don't know, a snack. If I want to get like a chocolate bar, I'm gonna go fucking buy a chocolate bar. Okay? if I want to buy a new game that I'm gonna enjoy, I'm gonna go buy a new game that I'm gonna enjoy. Why are we even considered like we're a different entity than normal people? We run in the same concept of a market of a business. It's just that you got to find out what the consumer, our video game enjoyers want, and it wasn't High Guard. That's just it.
Not gaming culture's fault that you go on social media looking for affirmation and praise for your video game. That is on you. You are the one that put your balls in a bear trap. There's part of me, and I will say this, when I hear these discussions and I hear these devs talking about all the hate that they receive, how there has to be a better way to communicate, I think to myself, you know what? Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I'm taking this a little bit too personally. And then I snap out of it because I don't support
It's not me. Yeah.
attacked. I don't attack them. I don't send people their way. This is all tone policing coming from people that are asking for my money. It is a way to strawman this entire conversation by pointing out freaks online who send threats so that you don't have to deal
everybody else. Yep.
Normal customers saying this sucks. And if you ignore normal feedback long enough, you teach people the only language that you respond to is consequences. You want to know why players are so mad? You want to know why they don't trust you? You want to know where this culture is coming from? We went from buying and owning our own games to an industry that is actively litigating and lobbying against our right to ownership, pressuring us into subscription services so they can drip feed us access and eventually feed us ads inside of games that we already paid for.
Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Adding ads in games? Like, I'm already paying for your service. Why am I getting double scammed here? Like, dude, what the hell is this? This is why Steam and Valve is in massive W. Bro, I'm not gonna get started about how there's a group chat thing in Steam. Yo, this is fucking crazy. There's like fucking mini Discord in Steam, guys. Once Discord's dead, because it's gonna die, it's on its way to dead, we're moving into Steam. Everything's gonna be on Steam. They have a monopoly, but Gabe's been pretty good so far.
Watched an industry with no microtransactions turn into an industry that begs for more money at every opportunity. Microtransactions turning into macro transactions, bundles that cost more than full games, skins that are pushing $500, hidden stores for whales who have already spent $10,000 so that people can drop almost $50,000 on a spaceship. And even when we do try to support indies or Kickstarters, well, they still get bait and switched and left with nothing.
Dude, the Ashes of Creation thing is kind of sick. I don't know what that entire situation is, but I think I don't know. That seems like, I heard a little bit about it. It seems kind of sketchy, like some business they're trying to get as much money out of Steam, like by putting it on Steam, then trying to rug pull it kind of thing. That's the vibe I got from it. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm gonna say allegedly because I ain't trying to mess with nothing. That's just the vibe I got from that. I think Steam also froze the account from them being able to draw money. So another W, Steam.
We stand by and suffer while the industry parades around purposefully misinterpreted data claiming that women make up 50% of gamers and then use that as a cover to drain personality, flavor, and challenge out of our games that we've supported for years.
That's got to be capped.
That we have supported for years, all in the name of wider appeal, to the point that you now have the producer of World of Warcraft saying that, well, they wish they hadn't called it Warcraft because it sounds too intimidating.
What?
That's where we're at right now. The end result of this has been an industry that is so greedy and so blind and so tone deaf to their audience that they can't even see the cliff that they are driving off of, even with every single sign screaming at them to turn around. Everything is TAM, total addressable market, this fantasy that there are millions upon millions of gamers that are out there that they just haven't captured yet. We just gotta find them. Meanwhile, the people that are actually keeping these guys in business are getting treated like obstacles, so they keep slopping out remasters and remakes to farm our nostalgia. They
That's what I hate the most, the remakes and remasters. Oh my god, and the rebranding and recontinuing and recreating and everything, man. Bro, Call of Duty was so ass, they had to go back to Modern Warfare series. They had to bring back Enterprise to try to bring people back. Assassin's Creed, same name over. Assassin's Creed. Then a bunch of remakes, like, oh, we didn't remake Oblivion. Why the fuck do we remake Oblivion when we could just, maybe release Highguard? Not Highguard. Whoa, sorry. Highland, whatever the next Elder Scroll is. Like, why are we creating all this extra dog shit when we create new content that people are going to enjoy, a new story that people are going to enjoy? That's why I think my favorite studio for games is CD Projekt Red. I think they are the best. I think they do the best. I think they have the best story so far. I don't know. They're a company that's going to keep me engaged so far. They don't give up on their games. They go back and they fix it. You don't see that anywhere else. I swear.
Experiences with more
maybe
monetization to satisfy their investors.
No Man's Sky.
Even while they're making more money than they ever have, they still have the gall to tell us that we need to pay even more, and it hasn't stopped.
$100 is
fully
insane.
Committed to this idea of trying to take as much as it possibly can from its audience, squeezing, extracting, pushing, to the point that it's now costing them their quality and it's costing us our enjoyment. Ask the developers of Highguard, who were apparently only given a couple of weeks to design their characters because apparently they had concept artists moonlighting as people that were managing their microtransactions. We see you.
Wait,
we know
what?
you are. You're not fooling anybody. Don't try to give us any of this. We tried to do it the indie way shit. I remember not all that long ago, Mark Dara, formerly of BioWare, went onto YouTube after the backlash of Dragon Age the Veilguard with a video that was titled,
I didn't know what it is.
$70 doesn't buy you cruelty. Same playbook, same tone policing that we're seeing right now, dragging out the most extreme examples so that normal criticism gets framed as evil. Another game that was supposed to be live service that pivoted last minute, stuff with messaging for an audience that was outside of its own, unrecognizable from what came
messaging,
before.
of course.
And then right after that, we had an executive from EA saying out loud that they thought that fans would eat up whatever they put out because the nerds in the cave always show up for an RPG because it's an RPG. Yeah.
That's not how that works, because we do. Why don't we, hear me out? If we have gaming culture, why don't we keep it gaming culture then? Why do we have to bring politics involved? Why do we have to bring all this like LGBTQ plus inclusiveness stuff? That keep that in the real world then, if we have so much of a culture. How's it that everything is one way then the other? Yeah, it's the gaming culture's fault. Oh, but we gotta be progressive. It's not gaming culture anymore. It's something else. Like, dude, keep this like stuff out of my game. Just make a good game. Like, fuck. Like, why can't you guys just lock in once?
Players didn't show up. What these guys haven't realized yet is that the players have shifted right alongside the industry, an industry that has been in contempt of its own audience, serving up slop and trying to extract as much revenue as possible until people finally internalize the truth that this Highguard developer just stumbled upon. Players do have the power. We use it, and we use it with purpose.
Damn right.
This industry has taught their audience that the only language that they understand, the only language that matters is money. Not essays, not forums, not surveys, money. So they go out and they downvote these trailers into oblivion. They roast these games on social media. They watch videos and support creators that are already talking about what they're thinking. And they then go and do the one thing that they know that always lands. They don't buy it.
They don't buy it. Yep.
Play it. And I hope you know that when these players start rooting for failures, it's not because they hate games. It's because they see where this industry is going,
because they don't want to be in the
industry.
industry.
Watch this entire thing collapse and burn and rebuild it all over again than being dragged down this same road even further. How can anybody be surprised with how players act today? Yeah, they're more hostile than ever, but the industry itself is more hostile.
And honestly, like, I do think that it's kind of working. I feel like a lot of AAA games aren't coming out. People aren't playing them. People are going for indies. Like, you got your Omega Bunk, you got your Expedition 33, you got stuff like that. Yeah, and people are Arc Raiders. I think that's a pretty small studio. Like, you know, we're not going for the big studios anymore, and I can see why. It's cheaper. It's way more engaging, and you have devs who actually love the product. It's not just making a price tag or anything like that. Like, they actually care about what the product is and what the consumer wants, and it just makes sense. It like, you literally see it in the game when you play it.
We have more gambling psychology pumped into these games to the point that even Vegas would start blushing.
Let's go gambling.
Starting to vanish.
Gotcha.
We have microtransactions that have infested nearly every single experience.
Everything,
just keeps getting served to the players, and we're expected to pay for it. Prices keep going up. We're done with it. They're not going to eat the slop anymore. They're going to make you eat the slop like you deserve. I think what a lot of people fail to realize is they really love their video games. They are very passionate about this hobby. This is
I
the
like
way
my
that
money
they
too.
escape. This is the way that they get away from a lot of the problems that plague them in life that now are starting to plague them in games, and that's just not going to work. This is how people make a lot of friends, meet up and hang out with a lot of the friends. I mean, a couple of guys that I know still to this day are people that I played Modern Warfare 1 with way back in the day.
True.
And you have a lot of people right
my
now
school
that are just not happy with the direction that the games industry is going in, and they're showing how unhappy they are right now. Now, I'm going to say, I make these videos purely out of selfishness. It's because I want games to get better for me, because I want to play better games. I want more games that are made for me, and I am so lucky, insanely lucky, that I get the amount of support that I get from my audience and from a bunch of other people on YouTube that, you know, there's a lot of people that resonate with the messages that I have, with the discussions that I have, with the opinions that I have.
I agree with what he's saying.
To show that there's a lot of people that are out there that feel the exact same way that I do. And that does not mean anything good for the games industry. I'm going to tell you that right now.
It's on a downward
I'm
trend.
not a very happy customer. You have to confront that. You have to figure out a way to be able to harness that. I know that that's possible. You can use that to make better games. Tools have never been more available. Information's never been, knowledge has never been more available. And the ability to get feedback and connect with customers and get a pulse on culture has never been easier to do. It is just a click away. All you have to do is just listen and make better games. All you have to do is
But will they ever listen? We don't know. I swear they never do. And I hope that, I mean, honestly, if the ones that don't listen, let's hope they don't continue to listen, and let's just get them to leave. Let's get them fail. Let's get them out until we get actually good games that everybody's gonna love.
just put in the effort to understand and make better games. If we can get away from this self-absorbed games if we can get away from this self-absorbed games industry that we have been infested by for so long, where people want to have their cake and eat it too, where they think that they can just do whatever they want and that players are going to show up and pay for it. I'm sorry, that's just not how this works. I mean, look at the tens of thousands of indie games that don't get purchased every single year. Most of these guys don't even make the $100 licensing fee to get put onto Steam.
Yep. They got no money.
You have to understand that people are not going to show up for everything. Anyway,
just
hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Just because it's
people
AAA,
understand why people hate
shit.
video games or why people are so mad at the games industry right now.
No, we're just mad at AAA.
I really do hope this message gets through. If you guys enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, share it on social media, definitely share it on social media, share it on all the medias.
Oh, all of them?
No, let them know. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Peace.
Peace. Later. Family. Oh, a bunch of Vin Diesels. Honestly, everything he said was right. I would have to say everything for the most part, if I can remember correctly, because I'm a little stupid. He said it with 100% certainty and facts. I cannot think of anything that he didn't say that was wrong. I do hope you did enjoy today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys would like me to react to next, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya.